Hello folks, this is Sullla speaking. You're listening to another video for League of Legends, this one featuring the new Surprise Party Fiddlesticks. Yes, the new skin that just came out to celebrate League of Legends' 2nd anniversary. This is actually a replay that I just grabbed off of a replay file sharing site. I haven't actually been able to play a whole lot of League of Legends in this past week, that's why there hasn't been much activity on my channel. Just haven't had the time to play a lot of games, and the games I have managed to get in haven't been particularly exciting or interesting, so was looking around for a replay that might be something, you know, kind of different to cast, and so I saw this one featuring the Surprise Party Fiddlestick skin, which just came out yesterday as I record this, so I figured I'd grab this one and decide to make a cast of this game so I can show off this new skin and just put something up on the channel. So this game is featuring the Fiddlesticks character, and here we go, gonna give you the matchups here. So we have Fiddlesticks playing alongside Alistar, Nasus, Karthus, and Graves, and then they're matched up against Ashe, Gangplank, Shen, Annie, and Tristana. And of course, since I said I got this off of a random file share or replay sharing website, I actually don't know any of the players in this game. I'm not sure if this is a ranked game or not, although I'm going to assume that it probably is, I guess, because there's no duplicates on either side, means that there's a decent chance that it is a ranked game. But what what skill bracket this in, I'm not sure. Looks like fairly solid team compositions on each side. I'm going to assume that, well, actually this team comp looks a little strange. I'm not sure why they have Ashe and Tristana on this team, but other than that, the team comps look pretty solid on both sides. So anyway, we'll look at that in a little bit. But like I said, I want to try to focus on the Fiddlesticks player. This replay is from their point of view. Going to start with Doran's Ring. And here we go. Here's the skin. Well, hopefully he'll move out of the brush in a second. It's a little hard to see that skin right here while he's hanging out in the brush. And this Graves player looks like he's doing bad things to Fiddlesticks as they hang out together in the brush there, but enough of that. So in any case, like I said, we're going to take a look at this match and see how things go. I know that I did do a Fiddlesticks game relatively recently. I did a Fiddlesticks game a number of weeks ago, which was me playing Fiddlesticks. So perhaps this person knows more about how to play Fiddlesticks than me, because like I said, I have very limited experience with him. But we'll see what the Surprise Party Fiddlesticks has in store for us. Anyway, it looks like Nasus is going to be going into the top lane Regrowth Pendant, and this is one of those new Nasus. Actually, I guess it's not new at this point in time, but one of those other Nasus skins. Can't remember what this one's called. I think is this the Dreadnought Nasus skin, something like that. Anyway, then Karthus looks like he's going to be mid. This is my old Karthus build, Meki Pendant into Tear of the Goddess first. Still, of course, a viable build, but it's something that you don't see nearly as much anymore because people tend to favor the Boots of Speed for most of the mid champs. And this is a really nice leash here, but Graves needs to leave so that Fiddlesticks can smite this. Graves, you gotta get out of here, buddy. You gotta leave, yeah. And Alistar's even typing that. So there we go. Had to wait so that Graves didn't take the experience from Fiddlesticks. And there we go. Look at that little, what is that? On his drain, it looks like he is using a little party favor or something like that. So anyway, we'll look at that when he goes to do raids. But we'll keep an eye on this. So anyway, drain, let's see, check out the drain animation. I'll zoom in here and rotate the camera angle, which you can do in the replay mode, not in the action mode. So there we go. He has this little colorful streamer coming out anytime he uses that drain. And let's see, there it is again. Oh, there's even a little sound effect too, and his little smiley face. I don't even know what that thing's called. A pinwheel, I guess. His little smiley face pinwheel rotates when he uses his drain. Whee! Okay. Anyway, so that's what that looks like right there. And then his Dark Wind is replaced by a little balloon animal right there. That's pretty funny as well. They actually even changed the artwork here on the menu screen there. There we go. You can see it bouncing around, and there is the little whimsical drain coming out in its bright rainbow colors right there. I have to see if they've altered the Terrify. I guess Terrify doesn't have an animation, so they probably haven't touched that. But I know that then the Crowstorm animation has been changed as well. So anyway, looks like a pretty standard Fiddlesticks jungle path here up in running through. Oh, Now, don't know why he's not doing the red buff. That's pretty standard there. Let's see. Meanwhile, up in top lane, Nasus is up against a Gangplank player right here. So keep an eye on that as they lane back and forth right here. Let's see. Nasus is using his Spirit Fire. And let's see. Oh, Gangplank going in pretty close here. And right there. Oh, look. Oh, no. Shen's there. Shen taunt. And that's going to be first blood. And yes, I did know that that was going to be happening because I did take a quick peek at this replay ahead of time. So I wanted to make sure that I could catch the first blood there. So yes, anyway, looks like Shen is the jungler on the other team. Yes, Jungle Shen, something that you don't see too often, but you do. I have seen it before. The biggest problem with Jungle Shen is that he just jungles really, really slowly. He's very slow at clearing the jungle. There we go. Oh, there's the balloon animal doing its silence right there. So it looks like Fiddlesticks is going to hold this lane for the moment, and here comes Nasus teleporting back in. Meanwhile, in middle lane, here is Karthus, still has that Meki Pendant and 2 health pots opening up against an Annie player who's gone Doran's Ring with no health pots. Karthus should be harassing the living daylights out of that Annie and forcing her out of the lane because she has no health regen, but I don't know if that's been happening. Let's check out the forming sets. 10 for Karthus and 14, so Annie's actually ahead in that lane right now. Interesting. Meanwhile, in bottom lane, we have Alistar and Graves down here, and this is an... oh, actually, they're going to suffer death there against an Ashe Tristana lane. Let's see. Oh, Ashe must be really low. Let's see. There's the Pulverize, and there we're going to go. So going to trade in lane, but with the kill going to the support, that's not a great exchange. Uh-oh, another kill going on in top lane at the same time. Fiddlesticks is gone up to top lane and has ganked the Gangplank player along with Nasus. Oops, should have been watching that because at least then we'd have the health bars. Oh, another fight going on in mid, and Karthus is going to be killed by Annie. So far, looks like this game has been pretty even in the exchanges thus far. Anyway, like I was saying, even though they exchange 1-for-1 in bottom lane, the fact that the kill went to Alistar, who is the support, is probably not what they want. Is this player trying to do support Ashe, or is this just a straight Tristana Ashe bottom lane? Tristana with no flash and no ghost, yeah, that's not very good. So maybe this is not in the highest skill bracket, but there we go. Let's go back and look at Fiddlesticks. Whee! Spin the pinwheel, do your drain on this red buff right here. Toss out your little balloon animals. And yes, there is a little squeaky sound effect. I don't know if you can hear it over me talking, but there is a little sound effect to go along with this too. That's going to give level 5. Let's see how this player is Sony Ka. I wonder if that's supposed to be Sunny California, or maybe it's just Sony. I have no idea what that's supposed to mean. Let's see. He has 1 point in Terrify, 3 points in Drain, 1 point in Dark Wind. Seems pretty standard overall. Going to go with 3 points in Drain. Probably going to max Terrify from this point in time. You do need to start maxing it because the fear effect is really what makes Fiddlesticks such a strong champion. The fact that he can fear people. Anyway, in mid, Karthus looks like he's getting ganked by Shen, but looks like he's going to be able to walk out of there without any real issues. Let's see. Karthus does have Flash. I wonder if he just used it there in order to get out. And Karthus has gone for his Tear of the Goddess. So like I said, this is basically the build that I used to run on Karthus, but have stopped using it because right now everyone is emphasizing the movement speed over the Tear of the Goddess, and I haven't really been having too many mana problems with Karthus since I've gotten more experience with using him. Anyway, more jungling with Fiddlesticks. Yeah, haven't gotten tired of that yet. I suppose eventually I might get tired of him with those new animations, but haven't gotten tired of them as yet, so we'll keep an eye on him. Let's see, meanwhile, Nasus up here going Philostone first and has 4 health potions on top of that, so I guess he's taking a lot of harassment from that Gangplank. Gangplank doing the same thing with Philostone first. Up there in top lane. So that looks like, I guess that lane's going relatively evenly. Let's see, Nasus 23 and Gangplank 14. Oh, so Nasus is actually ahead. He just got killed the one time on the gank, but other than that, looks like he's winning his lane without too many issues. In bottom lane, let's see, Graves has a Doran's Blade and Boots of Speed. Seems pretty standard. Ashe has a Doran's Blade, Boots of Speed. Tristana also has Doran's Blade, Boots of Speed. Okay, so this is just a straight Ashe Tristana bottom lane, and they're splitting the farm, and that's really not particularly good, because they're just going to be splitting farm, and 2 halfway farm champions are far inferior to a support and a really farm champion. Anyway, Nasus in some trouble up here. It looks like Shen is ulting in as well, and can Nasus make it back? Oh, just outside of taunt range, down to 10 HP, but he's going to make it out of there. And I'm a little surprised that they weren't able to finish off that kill. He just needed 1 more hit. Maybe flashes were down on the part of the enemy team. Shen going Madrid's Razor. Interesting. It looks like Fiddlesticks wants to ult in here, wants to see them dive this tower. Looks like he's lurking in Crowstorm range. Is he going to get it? Are they going to push this tower? Doesn't look like it. Looks like Shen has backed off. So anyway, an unsuccessful attempt at a kill in top lane. Shen ult will be down for the next, I don't know, I guess, no, it's about 2 minutes on the cooldown. It's one of the longer cooldowns on an ultimate in this game. So, yeah, looks like they're not going to go for it, and Fiddlesticks, you might just want to go and farm that wave. Just standing there is not really going to do anything. Okay, and yes, looks like he is going to. There comes the balloon animal, spreading happiness and cheer to all of the enemy minions. And Fiddlesticks is just going to grab some of the experience. Nasus managed to get out of there, and ooh, cloth armor, interesting choice. Good decision there, I have to say. It's going to make him take a lot less damage on the harassment from that Gangplank player. Meanwhile, down here in bottom lanes, Graves is just chilling by the tower. Wonder what he's doing here. Looks like he's staring down that tower right there. Maybe he's really low on health or something, or he just doesn't want to go out and fight. Anyway, I don't know. We'll keep an eye on Fiddlesticks here. Looks like he really wants to go after this top lane. As second item, he's picked up Sorcerer's Shoes. Boots has been first real item he's picked up after that Storm's Ring. Not the worst choice in the world. Does give him extra magic bent. Will give him more speed for ganking. And I'll look at this sneaky slipping up into the brush up here. Looks like he wants to come out here. A nice ganking path, by the way, is when people ward the river, is to come into the brush. Here comes the Crowstorm ultimate, and there we go. Surprise party. Happy fun time all around. Needs to flash after this gangplank. There's the fear effect. There comes the drain, and does he have enough damage? Yes, just barely able to finish that off. If he was going to flash, needed to flash earlier. Should have popped his flash the instant that Gangplank flashed if he was going to flash after him. So almost missed out on that kill, but just barely enough damage to finish it off and score a kill. So actually the second kill of the game. Remember, I missed that other first one. Here comes Shen over here. I wonder if Karthus sees him. Looks like Karthus didn't see him, but also looks like Shen was way too far away to land that taunt. Next item has picked up a Philostone. That's a little bit surprising. Usually when people get a passive gold item on Fiddlesticks, usually they pick up a lucky pick instead. Just because it gives him ability power, and he doesn't really need health and mana regen all that much. He doesn't need the health regen because he can drain, and he doesn't really need the mana regen because he's going to have blue buff most of the time. But look at this. Sneaky Shen player has gone and stolen the blue away from Fiddlesticks, and that is going to be one unhappy Fiddlesticks player with him not having blue buff. Looks like he's actually even going to ping the enemy team's blue and ask for a CV. Looks like it's on cooldown. I've never seen someone type "is done" for cooldown before. That's pretty humorous, actually. Anyway, 3 champs up here in top lane. Tristana has gone to top for some reason. No idea why. And Nasus looks like he's going to go back here. Nasus pretty good at defending against more than one champ due to the fact that he can use his Spirit Fire to take down creep waves. Of course, as Nasus, you want to be using Spirit Fire as little as possible while you're in the laning phase. You want to be powering up last hits on your Q. And there you go. Nasus is going to pop his ultimate right there. 3v1ing. How much damage is Nasus taking? Looks like he's taking too much because he just got killed. Little surprised that nobody went to help him. Oh, meanwhile, and here we go, missing another kill. Fiddlesticks ganking middle lane. Not paying enough attention to the jungler. This is supposed to be a Fiddlesticks video, and here I go missing plays all over the place. So anyway, Nasus not enough. Didn't get any help whatsoever from the rest of his team. They just kind of left him out there to die. And here comes Tristana. Is Fiddlesticks going to be able to go in? Here comes the Karthus ult. Should have just popped that Karthus ult a little bit sooner. It looks like Tristana had enough health regen to survive that. If he'd used that maybe 10 seconds earlier, Tristana probably would have died. So I guess he just didn't know how low Tristana was in top lane. And even though a lot of people were super low, looks like they're not going to get any kills up there in top. Meanwhile, more fighting going on in bottom lane. Ashe is on 1 hit, but doesn't look like anyone's going to be able to get that kill. And again, Ashe is, oh wait, here comes Headbutt Pulverize in, but Shen is going to jump in here, and how low is Alistar now? Not really sure. They're diving way past this tower. Here comes in another teleport, and Tristana's going to come in here. Wow, teleport Tristana. Yeah, teleport exhaust Tristana. Go figure. It's going to work out here as Tristana and Shen are going to score a double kill right there because the Alistar and Graves players were way in an unsafe position. They were here when there's still a tower right there. And like I said, not the safest position to be in. So anyway, our Fiddlesticks player is going to head down here. 3 more pushing in bottom lane, and I have to feel like this is, or actually 4 pushing in bottom lane. And I have to feel like this is probably not the highest skill level of game. Here comes another teleport because people are just roaming around the map and not really staying in lane to farm it. And that's usually what you see when people are sort of at a lower skill level. Anyway, Fiddlesticks is in position to use his ultimate. You know he wants to use it right here. Wants to jump over the wall and just jump on top of somebody with all sorts of birthday party surprise. But not able to. Oh, Ashe still sticking around here. Not the safest. All Karthus needs is a good wall. And there we go. Gonna slow. And if he's any good, he should be able to pick up that kill. And indeed was able to get. So here comes Annie as well, though. Now Annie gonna come out. There's the Tibber initiate. And here we go. Here comes the channel on the Crowstorm ultimate. Fun for everybody. Sunrise, happiness, smiles abound, and there is an unhappy Annie at the end of that. So that was a nice response. Meanwhile, Tristana, who started bottom lane, has been top lane, now middle lane, is pushing on this tower, but Alistar's going to be there to defend it. And here comes a matchup between Gangplank and Nasus in top lane, but looks like they're going to back off. Nasus going for the early dodge boots, and I really like that item choice as well. More armor, that's what he turned his cloth armor into. Extra movement speed, dodge against Gangplank's auto attacks, and gives him more armor to defend against those parlays. So again, I like that item choice right there on Nasus. Anyway, Tristana walking into the rush, but Alistar is right there. Here comes the Wither, but doesn't look like they're going to chase that down. Still 3 members of the enemy team up in top lane. Looks like Grave is getting in some Sullla farming in bottom lane. Karthus doing the same thing in mid, although now he's just staring off into space for no no apparent reason. Must have been, maybe he was typing or was looking away from his screen. But right now, it's a 3-on-2 in top lane. They should be able to defend this tower without too much problem, I would have to think at this point in time. Those early towers, towers do hit pretty hard in the early game. Although Nasus has burned through all his mana. He seems to be burning through his mana very quickly. He seems to be or out of mana every time I see him. I think he's just using his Spirit Fire too much. Anyway, now they're trying to counter gank this. Here comes Fiddlesticks. Alistar going to hit on that headbutt. There's a great pulverize from Alistar, doing a nice job. And Karthus is going to get the kill with his lay waste right there. So they're able to counter gank that very successfully. Anyway, no ward coverage just about anywhere on the map. This is the only word I see. So again, teams would benefit from picking up more words here. And uh-oh, Fiddlesticks running right into the middle of the enemy team. But there's the drain, and Shen is actually taking a lot of damage here. Here comes the Karthus ult. Not going to be enough damage. Or, okay, apparently it is enough damage. What items does that Karthus have? Just the Blasting Wand. I'm surprised. Surprised he was able to do enough damage to finish that off. As someone who's played Karthus a lot, usually that's not enough damage to finish him off. Anyway, a kill exchange in bottom lane. It looks like Graves or Ashe was killed. Ashe and Graves trading kills on one another right there. Didn't see the particulars. And Fiddlesticks now going and trying to take this blue buff right here. So let's get that little happy fun drain effect right there on the blue buff right here. Fiddlesticks looks so happy, doesn't he? He just seems so pleased at himself for being able to drain that blue golem and walk out of there with the glowing blue aura all around him. In terms of the overall game, it's 9-7. Let's see, in terms of farm, yeah, nobody really... Karthus really the only one who's farming all that well. Everyone else is very low in terms of farming amounts. So, yeah, this is probably not the highest skill level game. But anyways, just still having fun with this one. Has been pretty entertaining. There's been a lot of action thus far. There goes the balloon animal coming out there and hitting that silence on Annie. Not really going to do all that much, but still just fun to see. Anyway, someone is pinging Dragon, and that would indeed be a good call because no one's really paid that much attention to Dragon thus far. I don't see any words at Dragon or anything like that. There's going to hit on the Pulverize on Tristana, going to be slowed right there. Here comes the silence, and Karth is going to finish that off. A nice silence from Fiddlesticks. I'm not sure why Gangplank ulted there. Everyone's just going to walk away in the opposite direction. Oh, Fiddlesticks trying to drain Ashe here, but Annie is right there. If Annie just flashed Tibbers, he's a very, very dead Fiddlesticks, so I wouldn't say that that's the safest position to be in. Looks like Alistar wants to go for this Dragon right now, but not sure if his teammates are coming to help him. Here comes Graves, so between the two of them, especially if Karthus gets down here, they should be able to do this. Let's see if they manage to score this Dragon. I'm not sure if the enemy team is coming out to challenge. Let's see, are they going to get this? Are they going to get this? Come on, come on. Get the Dragon. Ashe is going to see it with her Hawk Shot, and yeah, it looks like they did just score that Dragon. Yep, there's the 190 gold. So the way that you can check on the replays is when Dragon falls, check the point of view that the replay is from. If the little 190 appears above their head, then that team got Dragon. If it doesn't, then the enemy team stole it. So anyway, not always the easiest thing to check, especially if the point of view of the replay is someone on the other side of the map. Oh, smiting early, probably would have been better to save that smite for a couple more seconds just to make sure it doesn't get smite stolen, although I don't think that's going to happen. But look at this, sitting on 100 HP, anyone could, oh, sitting on 80 HP, anyone can sneak in here. 20 HP, anyone could sneak in there and steal that. Anyway, another fight going on in middle lane. Graves is really low, just needed to turn and hit him, and there's the fear on Annie. Here comes a drain, and oh, Karthus ult. Who's going to finish it off? Karthus ult is going to finish off Annie. Either one of them could have taken that kill. And now Shen is walking around right here. Still has that Crowstorm ultimate in his back pocket on the part of the Fiddlesticks player. So we'll see if Ashe tries to dive this, may be able to Crowstorm in to the enemy fight. Yeah, coming in here, and let's see, he can probably sneak up here and use his Crowstorm. Alistar, oh, gonna miss on that Pulverize, so not quite enough. And it looks like he really wants this. Here comes the channel, and there it is, going to flash next to Ashe. Let's see, there's the drain effect, going to be just enough damage to finish that off. So yes, did manage to get that kill. The positioning was not all that great, though. Did have to burn flash. See, hopped initially to here with, hopped like to right here with Crowstorm, and then flashed again to get next to Ashe. So again, the positioning not the best I've ever seen, but in the end it did work out, and that drain seems to be hitting pretty hard. Yeah, has max drain, has actually chosen to max drain first, and only 2 points in Terrify. Interesting. So drain does deal a lot of damage, but doesn't really have that much crowd control because only the 1 point in Terrify. A little bit different than I've seen Fiddlesticks built before, but like I said, it does mean that the drain's going to hit pretty hard. Anyway, Nasus has the Glacial Shroud, so Nasus is going for a cooldown, and looks like he is going for that cooldown type Nasus build that I talked a little bit about in a previous video. He also has a ton of armor, which makes a lot of sense. especially because he's leaning against that Gangplank. Meanwhile, fight going on here in mid. Here comes a headbutt on the part of Alistar. There's the pulverize right now. Tristana rocket jumping into the middle of the fight. Here comes an Ash arrow right on the Graves, and Graves is now in a lot of trouble. Alistar is also in trouble, and it looks like the two of them are going to die, and there we go. So 1 for 2 with Karthus picking up the kill. Fiddlesticks does not have his ultimate, so not going to be able to Crowstorm in here, but they should be able to defend this tower without any real problems, even though there's 3 people here. Oh, Tristana moving too far forward, going to get feared, going to get drained, and Karthus is going to finish off that kill. So Tristana just walking way too far forward, and Karthus, don't think I even saw him use his wall there. With Wall of Pain, I think he could have walled off even further. So now that Nasus has itemized all this armor, it looks like he's dominating Gangplank in the lane, and hitting that tower with his siphoning strikes. Let's see how much farm the two of them have. Nasus 96. Yeah, there goes the tower. Now he's going to go after this Gangplank. Here comes Shen ulting in, and this might be a turn on. Yeah, going to be able to turn on that, and going to be able to score the kill. So Shen reversing that fight. I think the Gangplank probably would have lost otherwise. Still, nonetheless, even though Nasus is 0-3, he does have 96 minion kills to 59 on the part of Gangplank, so he is in pretty good shape. And oh, look at this positioning in the Wraith camp. What has an Oracle? Wow, Oracle on Fiddlesticks. You don't see that very often because he's such a squishy champ. He wants this. You know he wants to jump over the wall. Here comes the Crowstorm over the wall, and oh, bad times for Annie. Sunny days are here again. But not for you, Annie. Not for you or Tibbers, because Fiddlesticks has just used his Crowstorm over the wall. So nice combo play right there between Fiddlesticks and Karthus to score that kill on Annie. And that's just a really devastating spot to ult from with Crowstorm over the wall. Karthus tosses down his own Wall of Pain. And meanwhile, over here, we have another fight going on. Shen's going to dash out of there. Here comes Tristana right now. Fiddlesticks getting exhausted. Has to be pretty careful with this Oracle, but it looks like he's going to be Buster shotted away to safety on the part of Tristana. So the fight continues over there. They're going after Alistar's in the middle of the team, going after the two of them. Karthus, I wonder if Karthus still has his ultimate. Yes, he does have his ultimate, so I wonder if he wants to pop it and try to get Gangplank. Doesn't look like it. So fortunately, Fiddlesticks able to slip out of there and preserve that Oracle. Really wouldn't want to lose that. One of the reasons why you typically don't see Oracle on Fiddlesticks is he's just so frail. He's very easy to kill, and when he uses his Crowstorm, he puts himself right in the middle of the enemy team, where he will usually get bursted down immediately by the enemy team. So he's a difficult champ to keep an Oracle on. I know that when Freak did his Champion Spotlight on Fiddlesticks, he talked about getting an Oracle. And again, being able to clear wards so that you know that you can Crowstorm in safety is valuable. It's just, it's very difficult to keep the Oracle on Fiddlesticks because it's very easy for the enemy team to burst him down. See, there's a ward. Let's see if they should go ahead and kill that Baron ward. So anyway, nice. You do want an Oracle on somebody on your team, but Alistar would probably be the more natural one to get it on because of his supportiness and the fact that he doesn't really need items. Nasus would also be a good choice. And here, clearing out another ward, so nice job. Anyway, in terms of this item build, I'm really not a huge fan of this item build. The Philosopher's Stone, like I said, not all that necessary. I think a lucky pick would be better if you wanted the gold passive. And then Morello's Evil Tomb, again, I'm just not sure you need that much mana regen on Fiddlesticks because he's going to be, if he's playing as a jungler, he's going to be taking blue buff a lot, and his mana costs aren't that intensive. I mean, the drain is relatively high, but the others aren't that bad. So I'm not sure about the need for all this mana regen. The cooldown reduction, again, if you have blue buff. Anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. Here comes the Fiddlesticks Crowstorm ult. Not the best Crowstorm ult. Not really going to be able to hit much of anybody. Just barely hit Annie, but again, had to burn Flash and still didn't really get that much damage. So probably should have saved that for a better opportunity. Just wasn't really in the best spot. When he was over here on the brush, enemy team was like way over here on this side. So probably should have just saved that for another point in time. And looks like he's going back to do blue again. So anyway, I'm just, not that Morello's Evil Tome is necessarily a bad item, but I just don't feel like rushing Evil Tome is the best way to build Fiddlesticks. I feel like Death Cap or a Zanya's Hourglass would be better item choices there. Hourglass is really key on Fiddlesticks because that way he can pop it for 2 seconds of invulnerability, ult into the middle of the enemy team, and then when they turn to kill you, you pop your Zanyas and you're invulnerable for a few seconds. So anyway, yeah, he's picking up blue buff again. He's been blued virtually the whole game, so that's why I don't think that the all that mana regen is really all that necessary. Anyway, enemy team going to initiate, Shen going into taunt, Ash Arrow coming in here, Gangplank going to score the kill on Graves. Alistar is taking a lot of damage, and all 5 members of the enemy team are right here in mid. Ash is just standing there tanking damage from Karthus. Karthus probably can ult and finish her off. Let's see, here comes the ult. Will it be enough to finish off Ash? And yep, there it is. So again, Karthus very strong, especially when people overextend like that in lane. I know that Elements in the most recent tier list has ranked Karthus as his #1 champion for solo queue, and he is basing that on Revive Teleport Karthus, which I'm still not convinced is all that strong, but People smarter than me seem to think it's really good right now. So anyway, what do I know? Anyway, down here, let's see. Just needs that pulverize on Tristana. Not going to get it, but it looks like their team is going to take this tower. And this Karthus player is really playing quite well. 9-2-2. He went for tier first, then Rod of Ages, which is a lot of gold to be sinking into those early game items. But if you can get this many kills, it is quite strong. Again, you're not going to be 9-2 in every game, but if you can be 9-2, then it's not necessarily the worst choice. And then after that, now he's gone for the needlessly large rod. Looks like he's going for death cap. And meanwhile, Fiddlesticks going to go in here and try to solo a dragon. Now, ordinarily, I would say not a good choice. But if you have that oracle and you know they have no word coverage, then there's no reason not to. But it still would be a nice idea to get some friends over here, because you can see how long this is taking. And if the enemy team does, realize the fact that you're going for this, you are very vulnerable. But looks like they're not going to. Remember, enemy team does not have any clairvoyances. See, no clairvoyances on anybody here, so no map vision. And if you can take out their wards with an oracle, then hey, you might as well feel free to go for it. Anyway, Alistar going to headbutt Tristana away. He probably wanted to just headbutt pulverize and miss the pulverize. Anyway, Shen going to burn ultimate right there. I'm not sure about that. And then Tristana rocket jumping forward into a very unsafe position. You never really want to initiate with your rocket jump like that unless you know for certain you're going to get a kill. Looks like Fiddlesticks is trying to set up for another Crowstorm. A lot of the enemy team bunched up right here. So perhaps if he can set up, perhaps if he can set up in that same Wraith camp again, he can just do a lot of damage to the enemy team. Wow, Fiddlesticks is just twigging out down there for some reason with the pathfinding. Not exactly sure why, but he might be able to get off a pretty good ultimate into the enemy team. Would be nice if they have a little bit more vision on the part of this team. Need that clairvoyance to come in from Alistar. Uh-oh, here comes Annie, tossing down a ward right there. Here comes a lot of the team. Better be careful, Fiddlesticks. If you get ulted by Annie, you can be bursted down in an instant. Oh, Tristana rocket jumping in again. Very, very aggressive. Looks like there's going to be a team fight right here. And again, just waiting for that Crowstorm ultimate to come in here and initiate into the fight. So it looks like we have a large engage. Here we go, and surprise! It's birthday time! And down goes everybody on all sides. So instant triple kill. Annie is going to unload on Karthus, but Karthus isn't really the one you want to kill because he does have that Death Defiled passive. And right there, Annie is on one hit, and Nasa's going to finish that off. So that was just a straight 4 for 0. A nice job of using that Crowstorm ultimate into the middle of the fight. I saw Karthus in the middle there running his Defile at the same time. Looks like Graves and Nasus got off pretty good ults as well into that fight. And there's going to come a surrender vote for blue team. They are not at all pleased with how this game's going. They're certainly behind, but they're not out of it yet. It's only 20-14. They are behind more in global gold. There's a lot of trouble in terms of global gold as another tower goes down. And Shen doing his best to try to defend this. Needs the rest of the team to revive. Here they come. So I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get this tower or not. There comes a taunt. Nasa's taking a lot of damage here. Is he going to be able to slip out? Looks like he's going to be able to survive that. Looks like he does have enough health, but they're not going to be able to push on to this next tower. Not going to be able to push on. And they're actually in a pretty dangerous spot right now. If Ash has arrow, there goes Tristana initiating with rocket jump again and again and again. Still chasing here. Ash so good at chasing, so good at kiting. See if they're going to be able to go for this, but there comes the Karthus wall, going to be able to protect them. Meanwhile, while that was going on, Fiddlesticks has stolen the blue again, so has done a really nice job of controlling not only his own blue buff, but the blue buff on the enemy team as well. That way they can run 1 blue on Karthus, 1 blue on Fiddlesticks, and just have all that mana regen. Now, the next item that he's picked up is a Catalyst, and I'm really not sure about that. He just doesn't really have very much ability power, despite the fact that he has 6 kills, 9 assists, and all this global gold. Still, to not really have any ability power of any consequences is surprising. I feel like there needs to be more ability power in this build somewhere, and not all this sustain that doesn't really seem to be necessary. Fiddlesticks is not a sustain champ, he's a burst champ. His job is to jump in there and burst people down immediately. Oh, here comes 3 members of the enemy team invading the jungle, but they've been spotted with clairvoyance, so the other team, we'll see if the Fiddlesticks team is able to counter this. Doesn't look like it, but it also doesn't look like the other team's going to get anything out of their jungle invasion, so doesn't look like that much is going to be happening right there. Meanwhile, the team is pretty split right now. Nasus was down in bottom lane, presumably farming. Graves is hanging out here, has his Bloodthirster. Looks like he's going for Phantom Dancer next. Not necessarily the bad build. I can see it makes a lot of sense. Bloodthirster, pretty good item on Graves. Phantom Dancer feels like a solid build to me. Still not certain if Infinity Edge or Bloodthirster is the way to go on Graves. I think that the early word is people are liking Bloodthirster more than Infinity Edge because he doesn't really benefit that much from a crit build. Of course, then, but of course, Infinity Edge would synergize better with with Phantom Dancer. So anyway, we'll see. Fiddlesticks is still back at the base, but it looks like we have a fight going on. Shen ulting for no real reason that I can see, unless he just wanted to get over to this part of the map. Looks like we have a fight coming in here. Oh, Shen is in very troubling position right now. Here comes the Gangplank ultimate, but looks like, oh, Alistar going to hit a very nice knock-up on his Pulverize right there, and Karthus just has enough ability power that the enemy team is taking a lot of damage. Nasus trying to chase people down right here, needs to turn and use his Wither, needs to go after Tristana, I would think, needs to use his Wither. There it is, there's the Wither on Tristana. Here comes the Drain from Sunny on the Fiddlesticks. There's the Terrify, and that's going to be enough to finish off that fight right there. Meanwhile, Alistar in the middle of the team, can't really use Crowstorm in this situation, not really a chasing situation. Ashe is trying to flash out, but I don't think she's going to be able to make it out. Here comes the Karthus ult, and that's going to do a lot of damage, and Fiddlesticks is going to steal that kill on Annie right there, but that's going to be... did they get Shen? I thought that they killed Shen. I guess they didn't, because he's not showing his dead on the screen, but or maybe they did earlier in the fight and he's just already revived. But certainly a decisive win in that particular team fight there. Karthus and Fiddlesticks getting nearly all the kills, 11 kills on one side, 2 on the other side. There comes the wall, but the wall placement's a little bit off, not really going to slow anybody right there. They should probably just turn and get this inhibitor and then walk out, because I don't think they're going to get any more kills here, and it's way too dangerous to try diving the 2 double towers right there protecting the Nexus, so they just really need to leave right now. Oh, actually, never mind. Gangplank's going to stand there to eat some oranges, and you know what? Eating some oranges is nice, but eating some oranges on top of a Karthus lay waste is not so great. Nasus, I don't know what Nasus is doing, just hanging out in the base. Looks like he is going for his Trinity Force next. Doesn't quite have it yet, but looks like he's going for that Trinity Force. Anyway, that was obviously a really good fight. I'm surprised the fight went that well, because it was basically a 5-on-4. Fiddlesticks didn't even get down here to the fight until it was almost over. But nonetheless, they were still able to win that fight, and they were able to push mid, and Purple team is starting to snowball right now in this game to the point where they are just going to win fights because they're too far ahead. The other team, the blue team, needs to, catch people out of position, needs to score a pick on somebody when they're not in the right place, catch somebody isolated, that sort of thing. Try to turn it into a Baron. Neither team has taken a Baron just yet, so need to try to do that sort of thing. Fiddlesticks has picked up Needlessly Large Rod on his latest trip back, so finally getting some ability power. I'm assuming he's going to get a Death Cap, or either Death Cap or Zanya's Hourglass. Yeah, there it is. There's the Death Cap on this trip back. So now he finally has a respectable amount of ability power. But again, you're not always going to have 8 kills and 10 assists. And even with all those kills and assists and global gold from taking every dragon that's been gotten in the match, he still only does have 300 ability power at the 31-minute mark, which is not all that impressive. So, like I said, this build has a lot of sustain, but I think that it just needs more burst, because Fiddlesticks is not a sustained champ. You're not really going to stand there in a fight for, just minutes on end, draining people and whatnot. You're going to jump in there, you're going to use your Crowstorm, and either they're all going to die, or if they have enough damage, you're going to die. One of the two. Anyway, Fiddlesticks going for Baron, straight up one-on-one. Surprise Party Fiddlesticks versus Baron. Who is going to win this fight? And that drain is working pretty decently, but I don't think it's draining for enough. Yeah, you better get out of there, Sunny Ka. And gonna get out of there on 300 health. So I don't know why he attempted to solo the Baron with nobody around him. I guess he thought that he could kill it, but apparently not. Looks like Baron's stronger than you are, Fiddlesticks, unfortunately. And now he needs to go off to drain some minions. Now, when you do have a lot of, ability power, you can drain for a lot of health. So look how much he's able to drain, draining about 350 health per second, and all the way back up to full. So again, why do you need sustain when you can just walk up to a minion and do that? That's sort of the point. Anyway, now there's a fight going on around Baron. Fiddlesticks not quite here. Here comes the Ash Arrow initiating. Oh, a nice shot right on the Graves. A good target to hit. And it looks like Graves is going to die, but at the same time, Gangplank going down as well. And here comes the Crowstorm ultimate. Party time all around. Smiles, sunshine, party favors for everybody, and that's going to do a lot of damage right there. Karthus is going to pick off another kill, so Karthus is legendary, Fiddlesticks is legendary, and now it's chasing time, and Nasus is quite good at chasing. Just needs to get that Wither on to Tristana. Here it is. Here comes Spirit Fire, and there's a Siphoning Strike right in the back that's going to finish off Tristana. And Annie is going to run away back to the fountain, but with a 4-on-1 right now, this game is probably finished with super minions flooding into the base right here. Should be able to take down these Nexus turrets without any real issue. Probably just need to focus on one. I noticed the team attacking 2 different towers. Doesn't look like it's going to matter, but that is a little bit sloppy on the micro. So this game looks like it's just about finished. Going to be wrapped up here right now as they take down the Nexus. And right here, and oh no, Timber stun, Annie, no, Annie, how dare you? You ruined the surprise party. How dare you kill Fiddlesticks right as the Nexus explodes? Annie, you're such a party pooper. My goodness. Anyway, I'll look at the stats and just wrap up this match here. Okay, well, Surprise Party Fiddlesticks ending up 9-1-11, and the one death in the final seconds of this match, unfortunately ending the day and ruining that legendary status. So once again, Annie, it's all your fault for ruining it and wrecking the surprise party. As far as the rest of the team goes, I think that Karthus was more responsible than anyone else for winning this game. 14-8, had 14 of the 30 kills and another 8 assists. It just felt like he was the one who was dominating this game. I know that Fiddlesticks ended up with a great stat line, but I felt like it was Karthus who was controlling the flow of the game, using the ult to influence other parts of the map, and just felt really, really strong. Felt like he was doing the most in order to win this game. Not that Fiddlesticks played bad, but I just felt like Karthus was the one who controlled this game and really carried the rest of the team along to victory. Certainly Graves didn't really add all that much to the team. His stat line reflected that. But elsewhere, Nasus, I think, even though it didn't 4-3-4 doesn't look that great, but I thought itemized really well against Gangplank. He did die the 3 times, but that's partly because it seemed like the enemy team was focusing on killing him in top lane over and over again. And then Alistar, that's an okay build, but honestly, a support build should kind of look different than that. Probably should look a bit different, and a support probably also shouldn't have 55 minion kills. I'm not exactly sure where you got that. So anyway, not the purest of support builds, but I guess it worked out. And on the other team, really the biggest issue is running that Ashe Tristana lane. I mean, look at what happened. Ashe and Tristana both ended up with the same amount of farm, right around 115 minion kills. They both ended up with like 1 core item, Infinity Edge in Ashe's case, and Wriggle's Hex Drinker. Interesting on the part of Tristana. But again, the reason why you don't do that is they're splitting up farm. They're not going to be effective. Think how much stronger that lane would have been if there had been 180 carry with, say 220 farm. Then that probably would have been enough for Infinity Edge, Phantom Dancer, maybe some progress towards a Last Whisper as well, instead of splitting that farm and ending up having 2 champs that are both sort of kind of strong, but not really all that strong. And again, on Tristana, you can't really run Teleport Exhaust. You have no escapability, and that's why you die 6 times. So anyway, I'm not trying to pick apart these item builds too much. Like I said, I don't know what skill level this was from. I haven't checked up on these players. Maybe they're actually really good, and I just don't know. But like I said, the reason why I grabbed this replay was wanted to show off Surprise Party Fiddlesticks. So hopefully I was able to do that. I was able to show you some of the animations, some of the new particle effects. And like I said, didn't have anything up on my channel for a couple days, and I did want to throw something up here. So once again, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this. Thanks again, especially to Riot Games for giving us this game, League of Legends, free to play. Has given us all, I think, a lot of entertainment value. So here's to 2 more good years in the future. Don't know if I'll still be playing then, but I hope that you guys are still up and running. Anyway, until next time, take care, and I'll see you guys soon.